Well, it's equivalent fraction time. Today's lesson, I think, is a bit easier than yesterday's lesson, actually, because it kind of lets you split the rectangles however you want to make equivalent fractions. The first few are done for us, and on your homework assignment today, you'll need to be typing in the fraction, not just the number, like you might have done yesterday. And then we'll have some multiple choice on our homework, too, when we get to making our own equivalent fractions. So let's take a look at this first few problems here. Again, we're using the area model to show two fractions are equivalent. We're just going to do it a little different way today. So according to the area model, what is an equivalent fraction for 1/2? So this one already has this line drawn for us. So this shaded part without that line there was showing 1/2 of the rectangle shaded in. But now that we've drawn this line, how many pieces have we split the rectangle into? We've split it into 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So our bottom number is going to be 4 denominator. And how many pieces are shaded in? 1, 2. 2 out of 4 is shaded in. So 2/4 is an equivalent fraction to 1/2. Because we take that 1/2 and we split it into the fourths, and now we have 2/4. Okay, this one's done for us again. We're looking for another equivalent fraction for 1/2. So fractions can have more than one other fraction that's equal to them? Sure they can. So this time we've taken that 1/2, that same amount that's shaded of that rectangle. We've drawn two lines, so we've split it into 3 pieces, but 3 out of what? Let's count how many total pieces there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1/2 is also equivalent to 3, 6. See what we're doing? We're just counting the number of pieces after the lines are drawn. Let's take a look at another one. We're still going to take this 1/2 on a couple more, but we are drawing more lines to split it into smaller pieces. So when we are splitting the rectangle into smaller pieces, that's called decomposing. In science this week, we're going to look at a lab lesson where we take a Coke can and a paper plate, and a plastic plate, and an apple and a glass jar, and we watch them decompose for a month, 25 years, a year, 100 years, and they get smaller. So to decompose is to get smaller. So when we draw these lines, we're decomposing this rectangle and making smaller pieces. It's still, before these lines were drawn, these dotted lines, it's still half the rectangle, but it's also some other fraction because we've split it into smaller pieces. We've decomposed it. So now we have what fraction? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 4/8 is also equal to 1/2. We've just got smaller pieces. And now we're going to even get smaller pieces on this one. It's still that same amount. It's still 1/2 of a rectangle, but now they've drawn 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, which we know is going to make 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of how many? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5/10. 5/10. So 1/2 is equal to what it's equal to 2/4. It's equal to 4/8. It's equal to 5/10, and it's equal to 3/6 also. You can just split these rectangles as how many times you want to find equivalent fractions. So that's how you're going to do your first ones. You'll just be looking at how the lines are drawn, and then you'll be deciding that how many pieces there are after this line. I must be allergic to fractions. After the lines are drawn, how many pieces there are and what is shaded of those pieces. Okay, so moving on now, we are going to get to do our own lines, and it doesn't tell us how many to do. It just asks us, what's an equivalent fraction for 1/4? So I can draw one line, I can draw 2 lines, I can draw 3, I can draw 10 lines. I wouldn't want to do that. We'll just start off simple, and I'm going to make sure this is 1/4, and I'm going to draw one line going across. So I made an equivalent fraction. It's not 1/4 anymore. Now it's 2, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 2/8. So 2/8 is an equivalent fraction to 1/4. The picture shows it, doesn't it? So we can draw however many lines we want to draw on these to get our answers for this. Now, what I've done on your homework is I've made it multiple choice. You'll just have to look at the choices and draw some lines and figure it out, okay? Well, what's an equivalent fraction for 1/5? Let's draw 2 lines this time. What do you say? We'll draw 2 lines. So 1, 2. And now we've split that one piece into 1, 2, 3 pieces. Out of how many? Let's count and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 1/5 is the same thing. It's equivalent to 3/15. I've just taken that one piece and made it into 3 smaller pieces. All right, so you can draw that. It makes it a little harder to count them, doesn't it? So it might just be easier to draw one line on these. Makes it much easier to find the answer because we're taking one piece and splitting it into 2 pieces. It was 1/6. Now it's 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Notice if we double the one number on top, we also just double the number on the bottom. 2 times 6 is 12, don't we? Look up here. When we made that 1 3, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 5 is what? 15. So you really do the same thing to the top and the bottom. All right. Letter D here. We've got 1/7. I'm going to split it, keep it simple here. What's equivalent to 1/7? Well, it's going to be 2 out of how many? Well, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 7 is what? 14, right? But let's count the boxes and make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 2/14. Let's look at a couple more here. What happened to the size of the fractional units when you decomposed the fractions? When we decompose the fractions, well, that means we took a box that might have looked like 1/2, and then we split it like that. What happened to the size of the fractional units? They got smaller, didn't they? Because we made more lines. So the answer is they got smaller. Okay. What happened to the total number of units in the whole when we decomposed it? When we drew those lines, did we make more pieces or less pieces? The total number of units, there were more after we drew the lines and decomposed it. All right. Well, that's your assignment for today. It's pretty simple. Some of it's multiple choice. Some of it, you get to just look at the picture and tell the answer. So I think you'll do well on it. It's a little easier than yesterday, I think. Go get started on it. Ask me any questions you might have about it in your meet today. See you then.